see behind me is Volkswagen's latest entrant into the sedan segment. This is the Virtus. It's a mid-size sedan, but about 4.5 meters long. This is a fairly large segment. Now, of course, this will replace the Vento and will become one of the mainstays for them in the sedan segment. Now, this Virtus is built on the same platform as what you see in the Taygun, which is the MQB AOIN platform. Again, two engine options on this: the 1.5 petrol, which will be the larger, more powerful engine, with the 1 litre turbo petrol as well serving, which of course will be the more mass market product for Volkswagen in India. Now, quite a few differentiators. What we see behind me is the GT line, and several visual cues differentiate this sedan from the standard Virtus, and one of them is going to be, if you come around here, what you can see are the calipers and those blacked out alloys right there. Of course, that black trim on the front bumper and the slightly different visual treatment on the front end compared to the standard sedan. You can see the badge for the GT line right there. Now, the 1.5 litre Virtus makes about 150 horsepower, with the 115 horsepower coming in from the 1 litre turbo petrol. A lot of space inside the cabin. Now, some of the virtues also that you will see several similarities shared with Škoda's Kushaq. One of them is, of course, the high ground clearance, which Škoda has, well, that's the stance Škoda has taken, but Volkswagen is pitching it for its length, which is, of course, also the longest in the segment. 4.5 meters, as I said, is one of the longest in the segment, which also means you get a fair amount of room inside the cabin right there. Interesting take, of course, from Volkswagen, because the sedan segment, as we're seeing currently, is not doing too well in India, but still what Volkswagen is hoping is that the Virtus can revive that segment, bring in numbers in again. Of course, I don't expect those numbers to be close to what the Taygun is getting. Nonetheless, this should certainly refresh what the market is able to deliver at this point in time. Let's quickly get you inside the car and show you what the interior looks like. It's a funky, nice, very pleasing design. What I do like about this car is that it looks sophisticated, it looks quite mellowed down, not flashy in that sense, and despite it having the same DNA that Volkswagen has injected, we are expecting some good dynamics, good ride quality from the Virtus. Another thing is that the tires and wheels, well, what you're getting are 205, 55, 16-inch alloys and alloys and tires, and these, of course, are Seat Securas, the Seat Secura drive. Well, Volkswagen is talking about how this car will have good dynamics and be a fun-to-drive car. I'm not entirely sure if this tire, the Seat Secure drive, would be able to deliver that, but we'll wait for the full drive for that assessment. You can also notice the red calipers, what you've seen. Again, nice, long, elegant lines across the length of the bodywork. And I'm very quickly going to take you inside the cabin and show you what it looks like. Certain other additions that you would see on the GT line, exclusive to the GT line, are the red trim on the door panels, or the red trim on the dashboard, and of course the screens, which will have the red highlights instead of the standard blue that you would see on the standard versions of the Virtus. Here's what you can see on the dashboard. Of course, you've got very important features are the ventilated seats functions over there, right there. This is well, very conducive for Indian conditions. Fantastic screen. This display is what you've seen on the Taygun already. Clarity, functionality has been quite impressive. What you'll also notice is you've got paddle shifters right here behind the steering wheel. Again, quite functional for Indian conditions or for our driving conditions, where you don't have to, you can even effectively get into manual mode. I do like the red stitching on the seats. Again, this is exclusive to the GT line. Apart from that, otherwise, this is still the conventional car. What's interesting is that the 6 color options that Volkswagen is talking about, that the Virtus will be available for the GT trim as well. And of course, bookings for this car will start immediately, and deliveries, we are expecting it to begin from April, maybe the 2nd week or the 3rd week at the latest. So, in a short time from now, we will get you a full drive report of the Virtus. Hang on to that and stay tuned to Overdrive. Get onto our YouTube channel and watch it on CNBC, and we will have a full report for you on just how this car feels like to drive. Ashish, big day for Volkswagen India, big day for you as well. In the span of just 6 months, you've now got the second big new car out, of course a sedan. What's the sentiment at this point in time, especially with the sedan coming out?
You said it right, but it's a big car. Yeah, so it's a big moment for us with a big car on the stage right now. I think it's a moment of elation for the entire team. because we've been working hard for the last 3 years to get this project going. We tasted a lot of success with the Taigun, and it just feeds into the success I'm sure the Virtus will also bring to the table.
What are your expectations of the sedan segment, especially the Virtus? Because this is a segment that isn't been growing as fast as we've seen in the past.
No, definitely. If you look at the overall sedan body style, and I'm not talking only about the mid-size segment, it still constitutes around 12 to 14% of the market. That means around 400,000 4 lakh gadiyan, in a year. So it's a sizable body style which customers still prefer. If we go back to our childhood and we are standing at Pragati Maidan today, the car was always imagined as a sedan. So it has a lot of love inherently among customers. What this segment has lacked, I think, is choice, is options of a very differentiated product and a European, kind of a sedan in this segment, which clearly stands out. That is what I think the Virtus will offer. It will end up redefining, reigniting, and growing the segment.
Right. You've just now showed us two variants, but are you going to be having sub-variants within that, and how are you going to expand that?
Of course, that's a part of our lineup strategy. Once we meet you during our launch and our market introduction, of course, we'll have a full lineup of variants to talk about.
Right. Now you've got two products largely for the mass market in this segment. The Polo you recently discontinued, but can we expect something more to come out in that space, in the smaller car than the Virtus for that matter, on the same lines, of course, as the Virtus?
No, definitely the Polo has been a legend for us. It's a car which has defined the brand Volkswagen in India, and it has gathered so much love. But at the same time, now in line with our global, direction of the brand, we want to move to newer body styles. We want to move to newer technologies, newer platforms, and that's why the evolution from the PQ25 platform on which the Polo was based to the MQB platform on which the Virtus and the Taigun are based. As you know, the MQB A09 platform is also quite flexible. So definitely going forward, we have to explore different body styles, and who knows?
Electrification?
It has to be the bridge, it has to be the transformation that has to happen. I think next 3-4 years for the brand in India is about bridging the gap to that transformation. But at the same time, we have to lay the groundwork for that transformation, which eventually has to come.
Right. Between the sedan and the SUV now, you got the Taigun and now you got the Virtus. Which do you think is definitely going to capture the audience? And
Both have their own set, and I did a lot of analysis of how the trends have moved in the Indian industry over the last 2 years. If you see, the car market or the demand has been at a high level. Where is that demand coming from? That demand is coming from personal mobility. And when I say personal mobility, it is additional cars people are buying in their own families. And when you are a typical, nuclear Indian family or even any Indian family, you would like to have 2 or 3 different body styles in your garage. Okay, so if I have one SUV, I may go for a sedan or a hatchback as my second car. That's where I think there's a lot of opportunity for these two body styles to coexist and grow together.
Right. Another interesting observation that I had when you were making a presentation was about this car being exported to 25 plus countries.
Yeah.
How soon does that project begin?
So that starts, I think, the start of production of this car happens towards the end of March. And once we introduce the car into the Indian market, post that 2 or 3 months later, we'll start exporting the cars.
All right, fantastic. Ashish, thank you so much for your time and all the best with the Virtus.
Thank you, Vert. Thank you. Thanks.